Hey everybody, this is Kiv Holmes. It is time for One Mind Wednesdays. I have a guest presenter in the back seat of my vehicle today. Today, December 14th, 2022, we're talking about the endless possibilities in life. This week, if you may have heard, there was a kind of a breakthrough in nuclear fusion out in the lab in California. An experiment that's been underway for a very, very long time to be able to get more energy out of something than one puts into it with nuclear fusion. Um, Not going to go into all the science and all of the cool stuff that's happening around that and all of the possibilities, but I am going to talk about the possibilities and what brings us to those places where we move from possibility to probability to predictability. What do I mean by that? Well, we think about the number of years that this experiment that lots and lots of people, very, very smart people, have been working on. But at the beginning, all of it started with a theory. It started with an idea. It started with going into the realm in that one mind of infinite possibility. The what if question. What if we could do this? What if we could get to a point where we can create clean energy? And this is what the breakthrough is. It's years away from being scalable to everyday use, but we're on our way. It began with an idea, the possibility, the what if. If we think about the 4-minute mile, Roger Bannister back in 1954 was the first human being to be able to run a mile in under 4 minutes, and it was barely under 4 minutes, but he did it. Up until that time, the consciousness around that was that a human being could not run that fast, that could not move under his or her own power that quickly. Roger Bannister said otherwise. He went into the belief that said, what if? What if everything is indeed absolutely possible? What if? And so he experimented, he trained, he did all of those things. We do this in our lives day in and day out. Just 20 years ago, just 10 years ago, think of the amount of technology, the things that we thought were impossible, that we could speak into our wrist, into a device on our wrist, like something futuristic in space age, and see a picture, listen to music on a tiny little device, thousands and thousands of songs. It begins with a crack in moving consciousness from, no, I can't do this, to what if I could? And then we begin to experiment. That's the lesson today. Is my question to you is, what is that thing, one thing that you may be holding in mind, maybe unconsciously, that says, I cannot do this? And what if moving from possibility into that realm of, okay, well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to experiment. You think about this nuclear fusion thing, there's a lot of things and a lot of things that didn't work. And we do that. We experiment without putting, as best we can, without putting judgment about something being right or wrong. And rather than that, just looking at it and saying, this is information. What can I do with this information? Oh, that didn't work. Let me try something else. Instead of being defeated the first time something doesn't go the way we expected it to, we move into that realm of probability, the probability of how can we do this so it becomes predictable, so it becomes repeatable. That's how spiritual law works. In the science of mind, we move away from it. Ernest Holmes, the founder, had said that principle is not bound by precedent, meaning that just because we did this one thing this one way does not mean it's going to turn out that way every single time in the probability. But spiritual law does work that way. When we are aligned, think of all of the things that had to align for this nuclear fusion thing to take place, for it to work. And they didn't know if it was going to work. It was just, here's the first time it worked. Okay, now, how do we do this? How do we repeat this process? How do we make it predictable? Spirit is predictable. Spiritual law is predictable. When we align our belief with the desire for that thing that we want to experience in our lives, when those things line up, the law works with mathematical precision. So I invite you today on One Mind Wednesdays to ponder that question. What is that impossible thing where you are hanging on to, oh, I cannot do this, and getting curious about it, experimenting with it, taking it and maybe pulling it apart a little bit, saying, what is the underlying belief here? And is this belief really true? Or can I do something? Can I take this theory, work with it, experiment with it, and prove it? Prove that I was wrong. Prove that something else will, something greater will come in to help me do this, and it will. So that's what you get to ponder for this week on One Mind Wednesdays. I will see you again next Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, this video stays up on Facebook, and it's also on my YouTube channel, which I will add to the description of this post. You can visit me at kitholmesinc.com. And I invite you to just ponder that question this week. And also remember that we are in the one mind. We are all in it, which means we're all in it together. So be kind and have a great week.